There we go again. Bow thruster, bow thruster, bow thruster. Anyway, this video makes me laugh. Beep, 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 press, press. I don't know. Anyway, we'll ignore it. I'll try to. This video, it's another one of like bits of advice and that, but I have altered my thoughts on things a bit really. I do see where the build quality goes on boats and all the the expense and what boaters do to try to keep costs a bit lower, but I'm not going to name boats or talk about things like that. If I did, it'd be cruel on the people who get who buy boats, because everybody who buys it, particularly an expensive boat, even second hand or new, it'll be their pride and joy, and it'd be unfair for me to start saying things like that. It really would. But instead, I'll try to go in depth, a bit more in depth about our decisions and why we made it and what we look for when we got our boat. I think that's the best way. We also, because we took advice off loads of people over the years, we've always found that the best thing. Take advice, see what works. We got what we wanted, not what people thought we should have. And I think that's the same with lots of other people, but we had the experiences to know what works and what doesn't. And this is what this video will be about, which I hope you find interesting, and you might take some ideas from us. We'll still do what I said originally. When as it goes on in the season and we do videos, we'll still take any question you want to ask. There's no problem at all with that. We love to help people or advise. You don't have to take our advice. That's the logic of it. You please yourself, but there might be something what you want to query and ask us about. And that's same for people who are not buying boats and they're just interested on certain, they want to know about certain things, and it'll be a pleasure to answer any comments you make, because we just find great enjoyment from passing on our knowledge and understanding. So we'll get on with things, and let's see what you think of this first one. The weather at the moment, absolutely roasting. Well, it is outside, that's for certain, but I've tried to explain before about our choices on things, and this'll you might have a bit more of an understanding now, because what you will get now, or you will see, you will get people making videos or just generally on the canals and all that. Oh, it's roasting, it's too hot in the boat, And we had the same issues in our other boats, what we had. But they had big windows, or should I say our first boat had very big windows. Our second one had a mixture of portholes and double glazed windows. That was our choice, but we still had the problem of things getting very hot in the sun. Now I know we don't have loads and loads of hot weather, but when it does get hot, if things are not quite right, the boat can be like a furnace. It's the same principle with windows and glass. How in the winter time you can suffer tremendously from condensation, and these are all things we learned over the years. So in this video we're going to explain in detail what we do to keep a decent, temperature in the boat and feel comfortable even at night when we're going to sleep, because there's nothing worse than it being too hot when you're going to sleep. So we'll try to explain a bit. I mean, a hint is there. That's one hint, but we'll go into more detail and you might understand it a bit more. Number one, we have all portholes, which I've told you before. We don't have, that's a choice because we don't really like blinds and that on a boat, but that's our choice. But because they're not massive, they're just opening portholes, it's easy to just put our little pieces in to stop the sun coming in or for our privacy. It's very simple, and it's worked for us, no doubt at all. Where the sun's not coming in, it's quite simple. We just open the side hatches on that side to let any breeze in, and obviously, just like the bungs, the side where the sun streams in, we leave everything closed, and that's why it's staying quite comfortable inside. We're not struggling. But that's not where it all finishes. There's a couple of other things which is quite handy, and we'll talk about that in a minute. What we didn't want was too much glass in the roof, because you've got your condensation in winter, and obviously you've got the heat streaming in summer when it's hot, and the only solution you can have is cover it up. If you have a blind, which, like I say, I'm not into blinds, but we have got a traditional looking boat, and probably that's why. But that prism lets the light in, but at least we don't get streaming heat. Again, we didn't want anything too big in the roof of the boat. We thought long and hard about that. So that's another simple idea, and it works well. Just before I continue, the one thing in summer, spiders on boats. God, I don't know what it is this year, but we've had some. Have we? We try all sorts to get rid of them. But you get rid of one and another 5 appear. But that's summer for you. So before, when we started, when I was talking, when I was here, our bungs, which does the job, keeps the sun out, keeps condensation out in winter. It's all nice and simple. But the other thing, we have 10 portholes on the boat, and you can have them all, they're just sealed and that's it. But again, we thought, if it got really hot, we want some airflow, and we'll still have some security as well. So this is just what happens to each of the portholes as well. Each one can have the glass removed. More spiders' webs, good grief. But each one can have all the glass removed. So we've got all that through the boat if we want it. And it's all because we've thought of what we're getting. We vowed when we got our next boat, which we will not change, because I don't think you could get one built like this these days. But we'll go into that detail, you know, in another vid. But it's unbelievable how simple ideas can be forgotten, and then when you get your boat, you're on the oh, I wish this and I wish that. So that's all nice and easy. I'll put it back. There we are. Close it back up for now. Put the bung back in to keep the sun out. And we hope that was a thing for you. I know some people have it on boats, but you know, people who buy it sometimes don't even think about things like that. But if you want the comfort, you know, and you're being serious when you're buying a boat, like, because it costs a lot of money, things like that make your boating much easier. And the same, you know, the way you get your airflow as well, through the front and the back. You know, you open the hatches and that at the front and the back, but when you go into bed, it's not really secure to do things like that. So having opening portholes still give you the security, as long as you don't get the gigantic big ones, as long as you keep to a decent size. If you had them out, nobody can get in, and like I say, it keeps it cool. But, and this is the final bit, if it is also mad hot, there is a few things what can help you out. And again, we thought a bit about this, and I'll talk about that in a minute when I've gone and got the things. Like we say, we can have the portholes open and still be secure on the boat, or feel secure, which is the most important thing. But night time, you know, the heat, if you've got a night inside your boat where you try to go to sleep and it's 18, 19 degrees, which happens quite a lot in a boat, you'd be surprised over summer. You have various methods to use. Air conditioning has never been warranted on a boat for us, because we don't think you need it as much. You know, it costs you quite a lot of money to put air conditioning in a boat, and we're not fussy on these little ones with blocks of ice in, and they do a local cold zone. You know, there's a few out there what do that, but it's they're limited for us. But just like with our boat itself, which we thought long and hard about, I won't go into it now, but I'll try to do some more bits in a video to explain what we looked for, what we got done, and why it's so important to look past what I call the bling. You know, that's boating. You've got to look at what you're getting. You really do, and understand what you're getting, and understand that the best thing you can do, if you go to somewhere, ask the questions, and even if you don't know, try to make the boat builder or boat fitter think you know a bit, and it's surprising what happens then. It certainly is. Anyway, what I was saying was, red hot and it's still warm. Well, we have these USB rechargeable fans, which are all well and good, you know, 3 settings, and it does cool you, no doubt at all. But I better turn it off on that. But anything, a small fan will not do. If you're in bed and all that, having a little fan like that does very little to help you stay cool. It's just a fact. Plus, with fans, because they've got blades, if you do have one on in your bedroom and that, when you're trying to go to sleep, you get that buffeting noise, particularly if you start to turn it up, and that can be just as bad as being red hot. So we had a search around and a think about things, and I showed this a few years ago when we first got it, but it has been a revelation, and we have it, either we take it with us when we're on the boat, when we're at home, or when we go up to our cottage, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. It's from Dyson. I know they're bloody expensive, that's for certain, but for a good night's sleep it's well worth it. See, it's quite big, like nice and lightweight, remote controlled, but the great thing is no blades. So even when you have it turned up quite high, the cold air's coming at you, but there's not much noise, and that's what we love about that. So I know it's a little bit expensive, but it's worth it for us to get that comfortable sleep. And yeah, that has been a revelation, it really has. So that's this little video done. Again, we tried to pass on advice to people, which, like we say, you can take note of, or you can just say no, not interested. You know, that's the way it is, and we have no problems with that, because everybody has different ideas, and that's what we love about boating anyway. So all I can say is, as usual, is you're quite welcome to subscribe to our channel. You know, get your notifications. I'll just say this now, we have loads of people who we know on the canals and at home and everything. I know we don't follow the exact rules for YouTube and the algorithms and everything, but we've got so much going on. That's good things, by the way. We have so much going on that we can't spend too much time. But what we're being told, and we got told on the canal as well, when they're saying, have you packed in? Have you packed in? But they're being told that they're not seeing us. I don't know why, or not getting notifications. That I haven't a clue for. We've raised it with YouTube just to see what's happening there, and whether we are doing something wrong, and I don't think we are. But if you want to, just try, you know, to subscribe and see if you can get notifications by pressing the bell. And like we say, we will answer all your comments, or try our best to, and you're quite welcome to send them in. And like I say, in another video we'll talk a bit more about things, but your questions to us about anything to do with boating, whether you're a boater or whether you're just interested, come to us, or come to Bernadette as well, and we will give you one answer of some sort anyway. But that's done. It is roasting today, so we've got a nice cold white Rioja in the fridge, so I think that's going to be open very soon, with again in front of us some people who've pulled up and said, I can't believe we've seen you and met you for the umpteenth time on this trip, for the umpteenth time. So we're going to they've got the umbrella to put up, and we are going to get the wine, and no doubt we'll have a good chat and hopefully a bit of a laugh. So we hope we see you next time, and like I say, I never know from video to video which one we're having, but whatever we do, I'm pretty certain you'll have something of interest. So all I can say now is ta-ra, stay safe and well, and we'll see you when the next video comes out.